This is me finally bringing you the lifestyle content you all signed up for. It's been 1 year and I hope it's not too late. One moment is snowing in Birmingham, another moment I'm digging into this lovely and delicious meal. Argue with your camera. Anyway, I found myself here. Guys, how did I land up here? Obviously, it wasn't a shock to me either, but my husband literally planned this whole trip. And I must give kudos to him because he planned it so well. It was smooth. He drove from Birmingham to this place and we got a bus and then got to the airport. This was the departure area. I seemed a little excited and I was excited until I saw this. People sleeping on the floor. What is going on in the name of London Stansted Airport? Anyway, I decided to do some behind the scenes. When you see me walking behind you and we're on a trip, just know I'm taking pictures. I also did a makeup matching, finally found my foundation and we entered into this place. And then in this plane, you can see the name of the airline. No words, not even water was offered us. Anyway, we landed at Tirana in Albania. We boarded a bus to our location. That was another story entirely, but you can tell that obviously it was not easy. See me sleeping, my husband was eating. That was the first thing. We slept, and then the next morning when we woke up, this was the first thing I did. I decided to pray and read my Bible. Yeah, I recorded it just to show it, but obviously that was it. And then the first day, see what happened. It was so breezy, we couldn't even go out. It was a wreck. That was the beach. So what did I decide to do? I said, okay, well, let's just do some skincare. And I decided to really take out my time, give myself some mini spa session, which I did not pay for, just paid for my time. And I think I particularly like the self-pampering. It wasn't like it wasn't something I didn't used to do at home, but I just had all of the time. It was unrushed and it was simply amazing. I set up my tripod and I'm like, this content creation is not for the weak. It's certainly not for the weak. Anyway, one of the things that I had always looked forward to, even as a single person, when I got married, was to go on trips with my family, and I was happy that this was finally happening. I decided to shoot some content. I'm sure you would have seen this particular content in part of my videos, just to show how reading helps. Now that's us taking our meal of the day. That was one thing about Tirana. When it comes to pizzas were nice, even though I'm not really a pizza fan. Anyway, we decided to go out the following day. The weather was much better and we did all of this. See me, if I'm not running a video, then what am I doing? I really enjoyed this bonding moment with my son. It was particularly exciting and I felt super fresh that day. I felt like the skincare that I did finally showed. And this is my son. I loved his excitement. It seemed like this whole trip was for him because he was just really happy. And then we decided to do a little bit of shopping since we were tired of eating certain foods. I already did a video on the foods in Tirana, and this is daddy and son bonding moments. I'm sure they'll be shocked to see that video. Oh, my husband looked dapper. I also looked good and decided to take more pictures. Yes, this is some Arabian princess picture, Arabian prince and another Arabian prince. Don't laugh at me, I can be vain like that. So on the night of this, I just was bored. I decided to take a walk. I decided to do a prayer walk by myself. I looked homeless, but it didn't matter to me. I just needed some alone time in the trip. Now, this was the same day. We still took some pictures. I decided to show you guys because every moment is a time for what? Photo shoots. I particularly like these pictures because I've been able to use them on my socials and they're really nice. I like this particular angle because it's just giving relaxing. It's giving peace of mind. Yeah, and before we left this particular hotel, so this place was Duress. That's where the beaches are. I decided to do some videos. We had enjoyed ourselves, but I would typically advise that anyone going to Tirana, anyone going to Albania rather, just spend a few days, 1 or 2 days in Duress at the beach side, especially if it's not so hot. Anyway, back to our trip. That was our room and we booked a taxi to take us to Tirana itself. And immediately we got to the hotel, obviously you can see I started doing videos already because I just wanted to treasure the moment and be able to look back and say, okay, this was what we did. So when we entered the room, I like the aesthetics of the room. It was rather minimalistic, but I still liked it. It was functional. There was literally everything that we wanted. The staff were very nice. Oh, thinking about it, I should go rate them because they did really well. They booked our taxis. They did they gave us directions to what they thought were good restaurants, and they were generally nice to us. Again, this is my son having fun. We decided to go on a walk on that day, and I found Tirana much more interesting. It was city life. There were fun places to go to. We even went to this restaurant and we had fun, although the food wasn't good, just like I said in my food video. And then we went to the park. We went round the following day. This was an amazing experience. It was really good because, first of all, I think that was the first time we're seeing any black person in Tirana. Not even in Tirana, in Albania. So I realized that there weren't lots of people, but one thing that was good was that I think they are used to having tourists around, so they were able to show us around. When we asked questions, they knew people. Somehow they could identify people that could speak English, so they were very helpful with that. We did this merry-go-round, and my son thoroughly enjoyed it as well. He wanted to try on everything, and like I said, this holiday was tailor-made for him. One thing that I liked about Tirana was that even though it was an European country, it still felt quite close to home. And I think it was also a little bit frustrating because we needed to pay cash for a lot of things, and it just felt a little bit backward for me because here in England, most times we use our cards or we pay virtually, although obviously there are places where you have to pay cash, but in Tirana it was mostly cash, and that was one cultural shock. Otherwise, I think it was good. We didn't really do more shopping, but it was good. Now, on this day, you can see us doing what we call anchor, right? Yes, I had planned it. I wanted us to have a different look. So I took clothes that were matching for our Christmas look. And we didn't do the typical PJs. So we decided to do this green outfit, and I liked it because it also typifies our name, which is evergreen. That was our wedding theme. Now, I did a little photo shoot because why not? If not, any moment for a photo shoot. Trust me, I like to have a photo shoot. I think that the general view of this particular destination, that's Albania, so we went to Tirana and Durrës, was good. Again, I would advise spend just a few days, 1 or 2 days in Durrës, and then go to Tirana. There's another destination that we did not explore called Sarande, and that was because we were three. Especially moving on with our son, it would have just been difficult lugging each other and our luggage from one place to another. Otherwise, I would say that I generally enjoyed my experience, although I would like to go to a very fancy place the next time. But this was definitely not a bad experience for a first time because the logistics and everything went on smoothly from our house to where we parked our car. There was somewhere in London where we parked our car that I mentioned earlier, and it was just very convenient. From there, they just picked us and dropped us at the airport. We met our car waiting for us just at the right place, so that was really good. Back to our trip again. See Demi dancing. I said that this trip was certainly for him because he definitely had a lot of fun. We went sightseeing. It was good. It was good for children. It was good for adults. I can't remember the names of all of these places, but I know that we walked around most part of the city center, took more pictures because, well, why not? If not, why not? And it was really nice. One of the highlights for me was this I love T standing for Tirana, which was really nice, very picturesque. I loved it. I did some more content, and then we went to this nice place. They said it's the most beautiful street in Tirana, and I was like, okay, come, let's go there. Yeah, it was really nice. I liked it. I liked everything about it. There were lots of flowers, plants, and it was really nice. I liked it. See me doing some pastel here because, again, why not? If not, and I think I also liked the architecture. It was kind of different, and they paid attention to how the structure of their buildings were. This was a cathedral. It was magnificent. It was one of the places that was suggested to us. So one of the things that we did was we went on Google, checked the Google map and looked for ratings of places that were nice. So I wrote a list of those things, wrote their directions, and also we're banking on people that would direct us. And it ended up good because we explored the town to a large extent by ourselves without needing a guide, and it was really nice and fun. Although it would have been nice if we had a guide so that they could tell us more about the town. This is me dancing because we finally got a meal that was 10 over 10, and when we got back to the hotel, I decided to put in some dancing steps. Rate me, please. and these ones are having fun. Anyway, for everything that has a beginning, there has to be an end, and this was the way we ended our trip. So this boy was so hungry. Yeah, he didn't enjoy most of the meals that we had, but he liked all of these other things like donuts. So he had this at the airport, and we flew back home. It was a good trip overall. I felt well rested. I felt connected with my family, and it's something that I would like to do again in a different destination. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye, guys.